and I welcome you to the first ever episode of RatedTv. My name is Sammy and I'm going to be the host for this amazing show. Before I commence, I just want to say a huge thank you to our viewers, our followers, and our subscribers. I say a very big thank you for being a part of this show. Your presence really means a lot to us. We are really grateful for your presence. Okay, so before we start, I just want to make some clarities between Sam's Creation and Design and RatedTv. So RatedTv is under Sam's Creation and Design. RatedTv is actually the name of the show itself. It's the name of our talk show, because under Sam's Creation and Designs, we engage in other activities such as video editing, picture editing, making of posters, making of flyers, making of invitation cards, and graphic designs in general. So under Sam's Creation and Design, it falls under two aspects: graphic designing and talk show. So the name of the talk show is known as RatedTv. So because most of the time, or most times when we're dealing with talk show, we're going to be referred to as RatedTv, but under Sam's Creation and Design. So thank you guys. I just needed to clear out the clarity here, pass out the information. So on today's talk, I want to talk about ways in which one can develop personal growth and self-development. Because I've come to notice that a lot of people tend to limit themselves based on the knowledge they have. I think truly indeed, knowledge is actually power, because with the knowledge you have tends to be the way you carry out some activities, or tends to be the way you portray some things. Because some people are not really aware that they have this part of themselves within them that is better than who they seem to be currently. And because of them not having that knowledge, it limits them to a lot of things. It limits them to skill acquisition. It limits them to their attitude. It limits them on improving the quality of their lifestyle. So knowledge indeed is actually power. So I want to use this talk show to enrich us in knowledge on how we can develop ourselves and how we can have self-growth, how we can have personal growth. Because it's really important that we all know that there's a better version within us that should not be hidden, rather should be visible. So first, I'm going to be talking about the meaning of personal growth and development. So personal growth and development is the process of improving yourself and becoming the best version of yourself. The best version of yourself. So, for example, you are in stage A. You are in stage A and you want to move on to stage B. So that process of you moving from stage A to stage B is what I call personal growth. The process of moving from a good stage to a better stage, and from a better stage to the best stage. That is personal growth. So I'm going to be highlighting some of the ways in which you can actually develop yourself. The first point you should know is overcoming limiting beliefs. Overcoming limiting beliefs. And under overcoming limiting beliefs, I'm going to be talking about recognizing your inner critic. Recognizing your inner critic. It's very important. You pay attention to the negative self-talk and challenge it with everything you got. Let's say, for example, you have a clique of friends, you have a group of friends, and you guys set out for a meeting or a conference, and they ask for a volunteer for a leader. They're looking for a leader, and they publicly announce for a volunteer, and you raise your hand to volunteer, and one of your friends whom you know has beef with you for absolutely uncalled for reasons, because there are actually some people like that. They don't just like you for no reason. I don't know whether it's because they think you are better than them or you look more attractive than them. I just feel they just have no reason for having that beef with you, because it's actually not called for. So the guy that stands and raises up his hand to object to the fact that you cannot be the leader. And in such circumstances, most people who don't have an idea that they can be the best version of themselves, that word that was spoken will now diminish the confidence that they have in themselves. And once it diminishes the confidence, it now becomes a problem. It now becomes an advantage to them. But if you are able to stand up and challenge him, look him face to face and ask him why he thinks that you cannot be the perfect or you cannot be the rightful leader, challenge him, ask him, let him give you his own reason, and portray evidence, portray moves to show that yes, you are capable of performing the role of a leader. Because if you don't challenge all these kind of people, like I said, they will tend to use it as an advantage on their own end. So don't give them room for advantages. Don't give room for advantages for them. When you see this kind of people, walk up to them head to head and challenge them. Challenge them. Okay? So I'm also going to be talking about reframing your mindset. I think the most people don't actually know how powerful the mind is. It's so powerful in the sense that, do we know that before an action is actually carried out physically, the whole process has actually gone through our mind? We already know how the whole process is going to be like in our mind. Our mind has already carried out the manuscript. Let me put it that way. Our mind has carried out the manuscript of how it's going to be, how everything is going to play out. That's to tell you how powerful your mind is. Before you execute a plan, your mind already knows the plan. That's how powerful it is. So you have to build up your mindset to positivity. Build your mindset to positivity. If you don't build your mindset to positivity, you'll be lacking self-confidence. You'll be lacking self-confidence. So instead of you saying, I cannot do it, I'm not fit to do it, instead of you saying all that, when the friend objects to you being the rightful leader, don't say that. Rather, you prove to him that, okay, I may not be able to do now, but I can try to be the rightful leader. I can try to be the best leader you guys will ever have. So I want you guys to learn to replace I can't with the word I'll try, with the word I can, with the word I will learn how to try, I will learn how to do this. Don't limit yourself with the words I can't. When you say I can't, you are giving your mind room for you not being able to actually do it. But when you fill your mind with positivity, even though you cannot do it at that very moment, but when you keep telling yourself, you keep filling your mind with you can do it, you actually find out that at the end of the day, you end up doing that one thing you actually thought you could not do before. So fill your mind with positivity. Reframe your mindset. Let your mindset be guarded and be filled with positivity. I'm going to be also talking about use of affirmation. Use of affirmation. As some people, only God know why they are like that, but in their lives, you can never hear something good come out from their mouth. I don't know. Even to themselves, they cannot say something good about themselves. Like I just sit down to wonder why it's actually like that. So use words of affirmation. Encourage yourself. If you do something that you know you don't do on a regular basis, and you do it to an extent, encourage yourself. Tell yourself you can do better. Tell yourself that I can do better than what I have done. What I have done is just the merest peak of what I can do. I can do better. So speak word of encouragement to yourself. Speak positive things to yourself. Speak positive things. I can do it. I will do it. I'm capable of doing better than I have done. I'm capable of doing better than which I am doing currently. So learn to use word of affirmation on yourself. It's very important. Number 2 key point is build habits that sticks. When we talk about habits, you know that habit comes in 2 forms. We're talking about bad habits and good habits. So habits comes in 2 forms, the bad habits and the good habits. Okay, so for a person who is advancing from bad habits to a good habits, it's not going to be easy. Like they say, change is not an easy thing. Change takes a process. It takes a gradual process. So if you are going from a bad habit to a good habit, my advice for you is that don't head straight up. Don't head straight up. Take it step by step. Follow the process. There's a process by you have to undergo before you get fully to the good habits. You don't just say, okay, because you know what you're capable of, you just head on. You don't head on. Take it step by step. There's a saying that a million step starts from a step. So if you want to go to a destination and you don't stand up to take the first step, trust me, you go nowhere. You remain where you are. So if you want to cultivate good habits from a bad habit, you have to start from a smaller unit. Start small. Don't try to prove yourself. Don't try to prove to other people that okay, because you can do it, you will not want to prove to them that you can actually do it. No, doing that, you'll just be shooting yourself on the leg. Honestly, you'll just be shooting yourself on the leg. So start from somewhere. Start from small. Start from the basics. Start from the basics. Another thing is that give time to meditate. Meditation is really important because some people, they just tend to talk without thinking. They tend to talk without thinking. And I want to tell you people that it's not every situation that you should respond to. It's not every talk you should respond to. Sometimes just keep quiet and listen. Keep quiet and listen. There's a difference between you listening and you understanding. There's a difference between listening and understanding. And there's also a difference between speaking to respond and speaking with understanding. Those are two different things. Give room for meditation. Give room for your mind to process it. Let your mind process some things. Don't just, okay, because they give you you said we'll give them pa. No, take your time, process it, analyze it in your mind, and give out a positive response. So don't be too in a haste to direct whatever they are giving onto you. No, give time for meditation. Give room for meditation. Another thing is that you should track your progress. Track your progress. Like the illustration I gave from going from a bad habit to a good habit. When you've started doing all these things, you've started cultivating the habits that, okay, there are things you want to set aside, there are things you want to let go. By the time you start doing that, after a week, settle down and observe yourself. Okay, these are the things I used to do before and the things I have stopped doing. What are the difference? What are the difference? What impact has it made on my life? These are the kind of things you should ask yourself. These are the things you should take notes of when you are developing yourself. Take time to track your progress. It's really important so that you will know where you have flaws to be corrected. Because obviously, when you're trying to go from a bad habit to a good habit, there will surely be flaws. But when you have time to track your progress, to look at what you've been doing so far, you settle down and you have the ability to know where you made some errors and how to correct those errors. So take time to track your progress. Another thing is reward yourself. After you've tracked your progress and you've actually seen that you're making progress, give yourself a treat. Reward yourself. But in the midst of rewarding yourself, I want you to know I want you to have it at the back of your mind that you rewarding yourself is not because you have gotten to the peak. It's not because you have gotten to the highest point, but because you have started the journey and you have started taking a step. That is the reason for rewarding yourself. And rewarding yourself, it comes as a form of it comes as a form of encouragement. It comes as a form of encouragement. Encourage yourself. Like as for me personally, I have this thing I do every month, whereby in a month, at least once in a month, I buy items for myself. I buy items for myself because if I actually settle down to look at it, before I started this habit, I don't really buy things for myself because of the activities I carry out with my phones. So I came to realization that I need to be rewarding myself. I can't be using my phones to be solving other people's problems and not even spend on my own self personally. So since then, I started cultivating the habit of buying items in a month for myself. Either I buy myself a pair of shoes or some sets of clothes or something. I find something to reward myself with in a month. So you guys try to reward yourself. Reward yourself. It comes as a form of encouragement. It's really encouraging. So the number 3 point is that the power of gratitude. The power of gratitude. So under this power of gratitude, I'm going to be pinpointing 4 items. Number 1 is daily gratitude journaling. Daily gratitude journaling. Have a journal. Have a journal whereby once you wake up in the morning, you write 3 things you're actually grateful for. Okay, in the morning, you wake up, instead of to head on to the activity of the day, pick up your journal. Write down 3 things that, okay, you're grateful for this day. What are you grateful of? Number 1, I'm grateful for this. Number 2, I'm grateful for this. Number 3, I'm grateful for this. Write it down in your journal. Why are you writing it down? You're writing it down so that you're making it as a reference. You're making it as a reference. That's the reason for writing it down. You're using it as a point of reference. So that when you have forgotten, you can go back and open that journal and look at, okay, I actually wrote this and I am grateful for it. So that when you have forgotten, you can refer back to that journal. That's the extent of having a journal. Write down 3 things you are actually grateful for in the morning once you wake up. Write it every day. That is the power of gratitude. Another thing is express thanks to others. Express thanks to others. They say, do unto others what you want others to do to you. Show kindness. Show love to others. Don't just have a particular reason before you can show love to others. Show love to others on a daily basis without any reason. Show kindness to others without any reason. Show gratefulness. Show gratitude to people for no reason. Don't give them the impression that, okay, you must have a reason before this guy can buy me something. No, you should not be like that. Don't give people that impression that, okay, before this guy can even give me something, I must do something for him before he can gift me. No, that's totally wrong. Express your gratefulness. Express your thankfulness to others. Another thing is that you should shift your perspective. Shift your perspective. Focus on what you have rather than what you don't have. Focus on what you have rather than not what you don't have. Because, for example, now I want to drink a bottle of water, and currently I have a half-filled bottle of water with me, and I'm very, very thirsty. I won't dwell on the fact that that water is not going to be enough for me at that particular moment. Do you understand what I'm saying? That water is not enough for me. That when I drink it, it's not going to quench my thirst 100%. I won't dwell on it. Rather, I will first drink what I have. I'll first drink the water that I have currently. Then after drinking it, I cannot find possible solution to get another. So before you move out of your own ways to get some things or to help others, first deal with what you have. Deal with what you have. Don't envy anybody. Don't envy anybody. If you have this, be grateful that you have it. If you have this, be grateful you don't have it. And if you don't have it, tell yourself that I'm going to have it. I will soon get it. It's just a matter of time. Tell yourself. So don't be envious for anybody. No. Enviness is not a good thing. Another thing is mindful reflection. Mindful reflection. Reflect on the past challenges and how they can contribute to your growth. When I'm saying reflect on your past challenges, I'm not saying dwell on them. What I'm simply saying is that focus on your past mistakes and learn from it. Learn from your past mistakes. Don't dwell too much on the past, because when you find yourself dwelling too much on the past, you will tend not to move into the future. Dwelling on the past can limit you from seeing what is right in front of you, from seeing ahead of you. So never dwell on your past mistakes. Use your past mistakes as a driving force, as a driving guide. Don't dwell on past mistakes, because it will weigh you down drastically. So number 4 point is time management. Time management is very important when it comes to self-development. I know of a person that when it comes to time management, I give him 100 over 100. I give him 100 over 1 over 100. His time management is very, very good. It's very good. So time management is important. You're giving a specific, or you're giving a lot of tasks to do. How can you achieve those tasks in just a limited period of time? The first thing you should do is prioritize your tasks. Identify your tasks. Okay, these are the tasks I ought to do. These are the tasks being given to me. Know what you're supposed to even do. After knowing what you're supposed to do, batch them similarly. Okay, for instance, now I'm supposed to go to a house to clean up. It's a duplex. I'm supposed to go to a house for a job as a cleaner, and the house that happens to be a duplex. I won't say I will first walk in one room downstairs. Then after walking one room downstairs, I'll not climb 2-story buildings. We're gonna walk in that room upstairs. After I finish that, I'll not come back again to the last floor. No. Batch your tasks. You know that, okay, you have work to do downstairs in the down floor. Everything you need to do on the down floor, do it first before you move to the next floor. That is batching similar tasks, and not just doing any task that comes to your mind, or doing tasks just out you feel like doing it. Batch them. After batching them, then give time allocation. Okay, in total, I don't want to spend nothing less than 30 minutes on this task. Appoint tasks. If it's necessary for you to set a timer, please set a timer. If it's actually necessary to set a timer just so that you can keep to that time. That's what I do personally. Most of the times when I know that I'm going to exceed more time, I normally carry my phone and I set a timer so that I will know that I'm working with time. So I know I'm working with time, that I don't have to waste time on a particular thing, because once that time is wasted, it is wasted for life. Once a time is wasted, you cannot go back to it and reuse that time. So always try to make good use of your time available. It's very important. Make good use of your time available. The next point 5, is navigating failure. Navigating failure. I consider failure so important because without failure, you cannot succeed. It's not possible. For you to succeed, you must first fail. If you haven't failed, you cannot be successful. Go and check all the richest men in the world. Before they became successful, they went through series and series of failures. You cannot succeed without failing. View failure as a road to success. When you fall, give yourself affirmation to rise and continue. Give yourself affirmation to rise and continue. Give yourself reason to rise. Because if you fall and you remain there, you've literally accepted failure, and you've accepted deep down that there is no hope for success for me. But cancel it. When you fall, give yourself the strength to rise up again. Second point is analyze lesson learned. Analyze lesson learned. You do something wrong, and somebody walks up to you and tells you about it, that okay, what you did is actually wrong. Don't be in a haste to criticize the person because the person is younger than you. Everybody or anybody can advise each and every one of us. Don't say, okay, because this guy is my younger brother, this guy is my younger colleague, I will not yield advice from him. No. He has seen your flaws, which you did not see, and he has carried out the confidence to walk up to you and tell you. Don't criticize him. Rather, learn from what he has said. Okay, settle down, think about it. Okay, truly, this thing I did was actually wrong. And if it was wrong, accept the fact that it was wrong and learn from it. The next thing is keep moving forward. Take small steps to rebuild confidence after setback. After falling, give yourself reasons to rise. Once you fall, always give yourself tangible reasons to rise. As for me personally, whenever I fall, the one thing I always tell myself is that if people that were successful, they fell and did not rise, would they be successful today? That's one thing I always use to encourage myself whenever I fall. So I tell myself that once I fall, I always have a reason to rise up, because I want to get to that place, because I want to be a successful person. So I always give myself that encouragement. So keep moving forward. Because you fall does not mean you cannot rise. Anybody that falls has the ability to rise. So don't limit yourself to your falling down, but rather to your rising up and to your exceeded goal. Don't let failure be the reason why you don't achieve that goal. Don't allow obstacles be the reason why you don't achieve that goal. Rather, take failure as a stepping stone to success. Take failure as a stepping stone to success. I think the 6 points I'm going to be delivering is role of self-compassion. Self-development and self-compassion, they are most similar and they work hand in hand. Self-development, self-compassion, they work hand in hand. Acknowledge your struggles. Everybody makes mistakes. Never forget that. Everybody, in as much as I'm human, we all make mistakes. But what defines us is when we make a mistake and we learn from it, and we learn not to go back to that mistakes. That is what defines us as we that are developing personal growth. If you make a mistake, learn from your mistake instantly. Learn from your mistake. Second thing is practice self-care. Practice self-care is very important. It's very, very important. Invest time in activities that can nurture you physically and mentally. There are some people that they have the time, inside 24 hours, they have majority of the time to themselves and they don't use it productively. I'm not saying don't play games. I'm not saying don't catch cruise. I'm not saying don't have fun, but know when to do this and know when to have time for yourself. In the process of you meditating, you are nurturing your physical and your mental mind. The process of you meditating, you are carrying out your next plan of action. So practice self-care. Give yourself, even though you are the busy type of person, allocate time for yourself. Allocate time for yourself. Just, even though it's a minimum of 1 hour in a day out of 24 hours, give yourself 1 hour to rest. Give yourself 1 hour to meditate. Give yourself 1 hour to think. Practice self-care. The next point is forgiving yourself. There are a lot of people whereby they have done so many things in the past and it's beginning to consume them internally. If they don't have the ability to forgive themselves, they will not be able to move forward. They will not be able to see that there are better things that await them. So anything you've done in the past that you're not happy of, you're not proud of, shove them aside. Shove them aside. Don't hold back your past regrets. Don't hold back your guilt. Don't hold back your guilt. Don't hold back your regrets. Focus on your growth and not your errors. Focus on growth and not on errors. The next point is the act of saying no. There are times whereby we need to learn. There are some people, they don't know how to say no. Like, it's as if that word no is a very heavy block of stone on their mouth. They can't say no. So some people, they tend not to be able to say no because they want to please others. You didn't come to life, you didn't come to this world to please other people. No. So don't try to please other people. If you're doing things that you're not in line with, tell them, I'm sorry, I can't do this. They're telling you to go on a heist. Tell them, I can't join you. Make it known to them. Make it known to them that you won't join them. Make it known to them. Try to know when to say no. Because if you don't know when to say no, you will tend to put yourself in a very tight corner. You tend to put yourself in a very tight corner. And when you get to that tight corner, for you to come out of it, it's going to be a one hell of a ride. So for you not to get to that point, just tell yourself when to say no. Know when to say no. And the last point is that, the last one I'm going to be giving is how to find your purpose. How to find your purpose. Number one is identify your strengths and your weaknesses. Everybody has their weaknesses, and for every weaknesses there's a strength. So how do you overcome your weaknesses? You know your strengths. Use your strengths to overcome your weaknesses. Identify your strengths and weaknesses. Next thing is explore values. Explore values. Understand that principles guide your decision. For every decision you make, there's either a consequence or a reward. So try to think and understand that, okay, for every decision I made, it's either there's a consequence or there's a reward. So try to make good decisions so that you will not have regret, so that you will not be making consequences, so you will not be getting consequences, but rather rewards. The next thing is experiment with interest. Try new hobbies or activities, because you never can know which you actually find interesting. Okay, you are the type that like reading, that like sleeping. No, let me not say sleeping. Let's say you are the type that like reading novels, romantic novels. Don't limit yourself to just romantic novels alone. Read magazines, read other books, because you won't know until you try. You won't know you like something unless you try it. So explore activity, explore. give room for exploring. Give room for exploring. Very important. You give room for exploring. Like, I have a friend of mine of recent, she was telling me that she needs to come out of her comfort zone and explore, because she's been in this particular state. She's been in her hometown for a lot of years, and of recent she just broke up and said she wants to start exploring other states, other countries, that she has been dwelling too much on that. So she's giving room for exploring. She's giving room to explore, try out new things. Try out new things. It's very important, because without you trying, you don't know which you just might like. And the last thing, which I'm going to use to end this talk, is that ask yourself questions. Ask yourself some certain questions. Questions like, what impact am I laying out? Is this the kind of legacy I want to leave? Is this the kind of teaching? Is this the kind of life I want to live? Ask yourself these kind of questions. Because one day, you're going to leave the world. And do you want to be known when you leave the world for you doing good or for you doing bad? So if you want to lay out a good legacy, it starts from now. Laying out good legacies starts from now. Do the right thing. Don't engage in negative things. Don't engage in negative acts. Do the right thing. Lay out positive things, because trust me, people are watching. No matter how much you think people are not watching you, people are watching your attitude. People are watching your behaviors. People are watching your behaviors. So ask yourself this kind of questions. Is this the kind of life I want to live? Is it the kind of impact I want to lay on the people watching on me, or the people watching me? Give yourself reason to have self-development. Give yourself reason to increase your personal growth. Give yourself reasons. Allow the best version of yourself to come out. Because when you allow it to come out, you will be happier that you actually did. You'll be happy that you actually did. You're no longer limiting yourself to some kind of things. You're no more limiting yourself to your comfort zone. You've opened yourself to explore. You've opened yourself for corrections. So guys, with this, I'm going to close up for today, and I just want to say to you guys out there listening or watching that let's try as much as possible to always give room for self-development, because the truth of the matter is that we need to develop ourselves daily on a regular basis. We need to develop ourselves on a regular basis. So let's not default once we've started. Let's not default. Let's try. Keep it going. And I know you're going to get there. I know you're going to get there. So guys, I just want to say thank you for listening. And I hope you guys were able to gain little knowledge. And I hope I was able to impact more knowledge than you have had. Because remember, knowledge is power. Thank you guys, and before you close up, just hit the subscribe button and hit the notification and give a like to this video, so that when we post our videos, you will get notifications, you will get reminders, you will get notified when we post a new video. Thank you guys. See you guys. I love you all.